I don't care what you think. I need to hear from the authority on the subject of what is appropriate to build in floodplains. We just went through a flood, said he. Why are you starting a fight with me? I said, I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm just trying to protect our home we have lived for more than 30 years. How much further down the river are you planning to fill in, and how much higher will the new area be? He did not answer. He walked up the hill cursing, and he just kept moving. When Patrick Layton was ordered to cease and desist from cutting down trees by the DEP and Hadley CC, that report was written in the Daily Hampshire Gazette, June 2004. Pat did not cease or desist. The lady who lives in the upstairs apartment in our home wrote several letters and sent complaints to authorities explaining what Patrick personally did to her when she was trying to drive back home or trying to drive out of Honey Pot Road so she could get to her classes at Holyoke Community College. The letters Carl Finn and Catherine wrote were also sent to public officials and read out loud during town meetings. On December 8th, during a Hadley Conservation Commission, Patrick Layton declared his neighbor made an appearance at a ZBA meeting and testified on his behalf. The neighbor was there. He sat on the left side in the room and never spoke at all during that ZBA meeting. Then Patrick went on to tout about a 2-foot thick concrete pad that was next to the tall fence he built and explained it would be impossible to remove. He further expressed the fact that he had been expecting to build his alleged barn on top of that concrete slab, and he really did say it was his desire to get a final decision concerning his barn proposal on that night at that Hadley Conservation meeting. Pat even suggested that CC board members should skip the formalities because his project was a local matter. He also said he did not think outside members from the DEP were even interested in what was going on in our Hadley town. On June 25, 2015, we sent an email to our local town board members and told them again about Patrick Layton's concrete mixing machine. On July 20th, 2015, a follow-up repeat message was sent. Subject, Honey Pot, Peninsula Environmental Concerns. It said, right now there are 2 men standing next to Patrick Layton's cement mixing machine that is churning around. Stuff is being added to the mixer and then it is dropped into plastic buckets and taken away. Many reports were sent before and after those 2 dates. The concrete mixer is very close to our home. It's been making concrete for many years. The noise it creates is unbearable to tolerate, but that's not really the issue. The problem is, can you imagine where that 2-foot concrete pad that Patrick Layton keeps talking about came from? We know.
But you've only brought the concrete mixer a long time ago.
And I'm bringing it up again because it's being recorded. Thank you for asking, though.
Okay, but you
Greg Hunter and I are professional songwriters. We have an elder music studio in our upstairs apartment. The equipment is old, but it still works good. We have not been able to record in our studio for many years because all the noisy activities Patrick constantly is causing is very close to our home. When Patrick is not running his cement mixer, he's driving his alleged farm tractor with the bucket loader on front up and down the hills created by planting a whole bunch of unacceptable items he used to make his land higher than it was before he bought it from the man named Carl Finn. Up to page 4, almost done. When Patrick Layton first stated his reasons for wanting to build a barn, he said his daughter was soon going to be married, and he wanted to provide a nice space for the wedding guests to celebrate. During a meeting after that, he claimed he wanted to build a barn sanctuary for his neighbors so they would be safe during high floodwater times. At a CC December 8, 2015 CC meeting, when the chairwoman mentioned his barn would not have any sanitary facilities inside, Patrick quickly replied, "Oh no." Let's do a little backing up in our memory banks. Where were the party guests and the neighbors Pat was going to provide a safe sanctuary for during severe flood conditions, going to do their potty business? Surely your eyes can see the man who requests a permit to build his alleged barn next to the fence line is like a chameleon who changes all the time. Once again, his story is changing. Now he's saying he wants to build a barn to store his tools in and keep his tractor warm during winter months. If he is granted permission to do that, his structure would also store table saws, drill presses, radial saws, etc. only a matter of feet away from the north side of our home and approximately half an acre away from his. What kind of noise do you think his tools will create for all the handicapped and elder people who live in our home? And what about those two fireplaces? Is he going to light them up inside of the structure that he already admitted will have no insulation or running water inside, and then he's going to leave that structure to walk back to his house and leave the fires burning? What happens if some of the ashes pop out of the fire stove? That doesn't make any sense to us. For many years, somebody has been delivering piles of gravel and dumping them off on the side of the road where the town line ends. Patrick has put some of that gravel rock on top of the dirt road that is an access road, but he picked many scoops of it up by using his tractor with the bucket loader on front and brought it back to his land to drop it off there. Most of Patrick's criminal activities and other bad behaviors are usually done after 4 p.m. on any day or on weekends. He works extra long hours on long holiday weekends. Patrick Layton has been building up his property higher and stretching it out on all sides for many years. He brought in many big trucks. They delivered yards and yards of dirt, and trucks dropped the dirt off in his driveway. And Pat would use his now infamous bucket loading tractor to spread the dirt all over his land. Patrick Layton dug a deep, long trench on our side of the high fence he built and put a long drain pipe in it. Ever since then, all the water that flows into the pipe exits on the west side of our driveway that makes it impossible for us to walk up the stairs to get into our house unless we walk through the water or climb on the wooden pallets to keep our feet and legs dry. And because our dog's paws would often slip through the spaces in the pallets, somebody had to put carpet on top of the pallets. Patrick Layton has filed many lawsuits against many people who lived in our home. Each and every time he made an appearance in a courtroom to address those charges, the judges always dismissed his cases. They also ordered him to do several things. Patrick did not ever follow any of those orders. When Patrick's wife had a conversation with Greg Hunter, she told Greg her husband was planning on removing the tall fence he built. He also wanted to cut down all the trees Greg planted and place them with other trees her husband had already chosen. For certain, these events are mind-boggling for anybody to wrap their heads around. But from my own personal perspective, I believe we can count on the surveillance camera, all the professional photographers, plus the home folks who volunteered their time to help stop this criminal activity and other bad behaviors that have been going on. On May 29, 1979, the Board of Health, along with Michael, I can't say that name, of the Conservation Commission, viewed your property after a complaint was received by the Conservation of Rubbish and Debris. I'll save you the rest of it. Anyhow, that was written and sent to the Hadley CC from the Board of Health. Mind you, the date was 1979. In 1995, another letter was sent. Dear Mr. Layton, a few days ago, Vice Chair named all those people, and they reported and wrote back and sent these letters. It was signed Alexandra Dawson. And it was interesting to note that during that conversation that Pat was having with Alexandra, all he had to do was interject. This has always been a Hatfield versus McCoy borderline argument. That's not true. That letter was written on November 7th, 1995. How old was I then? Oh, I was just a young chick. Another letter was written. It says, to whom it may concern, I have been Miss Pittman's primary care provider for many years. I saw her recently, we're coming up to date, on March 10, 2016, and it was clear she was suffering physical effects of stress. She had lost weight, had redness in her hands and her feet. She was quite anxious the day I saw her. It is my opinion she is suffering from severe situational stress due to the problems with her house and property, and this is resulting in physical illness. Hopefully these legal matters can be cleared up for her, because I worry that she will become even more ill if these problems are not resolved. That letter was stamped and signed by Julie Stanton, MD, who works at the Hadley Family Medical Practice. Why are they practicing medicine? Are they doctors? Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Can I keep a copy of that so I can keep it in our record and stuff?
You know, I was wondering, as I was pondering what I should do next, and trust me when I tell you that this changed so many times. I'm a chameleon. I can absolutely give you this one, and if you would like, I can send you more. Would that go?
Well, whatever you just read.
Yeah, I'm saying, I do twins.
She can actually run it through the photocopy machine.
Well, I wrote at the bottom of it, that's why I'm concerned that you wouldn't want my handwriting on it.
It doesn't matter, it's just an easy way.
I asked you for a date, I don't know if you got a maid, if that's, your maid sees that I asked you for a date, you may get in trouble. And then you won't be available for the February 14th candy parade. Give it to Janice.
That's the whole thing you just read?
No, the whole thing.
We want the whole
Everything you
thing.
just read.
Blonde. Me
No, no, no.
black, him
You
blonde.
want everything you just read?
You want everything I
Yeah,
can?
Yeah.
and she can make a
Oh!
copy
You
of
make
it.
copies of it
I
and
can
then
give
have
it
it
back
on
to you,
file.
I'll mail it back to you,
Because-
I'll just make a copy.
My mistake, I apologize, sir. Please let me in the house.
So because that way, because it's
I'll have
been
it in the
entered in the record, it's in the record.
Okay, let me interject also at almost the end. I did send, I believe, all of these papers along with some updated photographs that Brandon Greggy brought to the mailbox, you know where the story's going. And he was supposed to send it and have it, a receipt signed, but he kind of forgot to do that. So I've been sending Mark Stinson and asking him if the package ever arrived, and at this point in time, we don't know.
I know that he said he got something, I don't know what it was,
Oh, cool, we're almost there.
last week.
Mark, David Poulis.
Yeah,
Okay, so I called, because you told me to write a letter and send
Yeah.
it. But he doesn't want a letter, because he wants it to be an electronic record.
oh,
And anything that I
Really?
send him, he wants to be able to share with.
oh,
And he
okay,
had a list or something, I should email the same stuff
okay.
to the people on the list, like you guys, that lady, and all that. Only trouble is, you can guide me on this, because I'm having a lot of trouble, because I'm trying to do this on my cell phone. And I
Oh.
don't know
that'd
a
be
lot
tough.
about
Yeah.
computers, so what, you gotta create a file or something? Well, I type it all out, and then you got this big file that you forward.
Yeah,
So I
ideally.
can't do it on my cell phone, so,
Yeah.
I'm going, okay, how do I get, I'm gonna give him another call. Library,
Go to the
well,
library.
I don't know how to do it anyway.
Okay,
That's the
but
problem.
if you,
So it would take a lot of,
even if you wrote it up,
yeah.
even handwritten, it could be scanned at, like Staples, and they could actually scan it and email the
Oh,
document.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, good grief, say it like that, okay.
Yeah, so if you wrote something up and you
I
said,
know
I
what
want it
Staples
to
is,
either
sure.
be
Okay.
emailed or faxed,
Yeah.
like if they could
That would
email
work.
it,
You'd have to have the email address for them, I guess, then.
Right.
You know,
I do,
yeah.
right,
Right.
they
He
can
gave that
mail
to me.
it for you.
sure.
They can email it for you, scan
He's-
it and email it.
My,
And when they scan it, it makes it into a document
Great.
that they can then
Fantastic.
forward.
The other, I did try to email him on my phone, because first step of the process, I have to email him on, and then then he has my email address.
Yeah.
Then he emails me back, and then I can go ahead and do stuff. And I'm having some trouble even just emailing him off my phone.
Could you possibly send me these copies, because I'm not certain if I kept them.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
left you my
I
clip.
will.
Yep,
Also, one more thing, Mr. Hunter suggested that Mr. Foulis Foulis wanted for me to send from my computer some information for him.
Oh.
I would be, in my opinion, more than a fool to send my address to Patrick Layton. We already know what he's done. I'd be a fool not to be afraid of him. He's assaulted me physically on 2 different occasions. Those occasions both went to court.
We can go to, like you said, Staples. We can go to
right.
that.
Staples can email it for you.
That'll work.
I can't go to Staples. Now I gotta trust you again? Oh, boy.
But you also
Let me
call
get it.
David Poulis and even find out,
Yeah,
back up all that.
okay, can we
Okay,
just,
thank you for that, guys.
Yep,
okay, can we just do December minutes?
Make a motion to accept the December minutes?
Heck, there's water I'm drinking up here. Let's go.
Third.
okay, and a second, any discussion? All in
Thank you.
favor?
All right, thank you. All right, I'll get these back to you.
All right.
Anything about the updates on the UPRs?